I'm Madison Marcus, and I'm the second affirmative. I'd like to start off about how my opponent brought up the Declaration and how it stated the right to life. First of all, it was in 1995 when this stated, and according to the 14th Amendment from 1998, it guarantees the liberty of physicians to practice medicine consistent with their best professional judgment, including using skills and powers to felicitate the exercise of the decision of a competent, terminally ill adult to hasten inevitable death by prescribing suitable medications for the patient to self-administrate for that purpose. Another thing my opponent brought up was how we have a right to our own life, so we should be given this option. And for an issue as personal as one's life, we should have the choice of how we should go about it. And to be not denied of that is a decision that is blight on democracy. Another thing that my opponent did bring up was about being a burden and being forced to do this act for financial reasons or family, but the Oregon and Washington laws specifically require the request of process to stop immediately if there's any evidence of coercion, which coercion is being pressured from an outside force. The laws further require the two physicians who work regularly and closely with this patient to be involved throughout the process. So no one can get away with being pressured into it because they'll find out eventually. And he also said something about how if they're pressured into it, they have to go through it and they don't know about the afterlife. But not everyone that does physician-assisted suicide goes through with it. In 2009, 95 prescriptions in Oregon were given out, and only 53 of those people took it. Also, he was talking about it violates freedom of religion and what they believe as a whole. He wasn't talking about what individuals believe, if it's right or wrong, but religions as a whole. And those who spiritually believe include opposition to physician-assisted suicide, but however, many other strong religions, there is many that go against it, but there is some, as my partner did state, but limiting one's end-of-life option to suffering terrible physical and emotional agony and the loss of personal dignity is neither humane nor divine. Those who are trapped in prolonged suffering prior to the inevitable death and who choose to hasten death is for the individual's choice. God, but as conscious, self-determined individual. This is no more playing God than to suggest one more procedure, one more pill, and one more feeding tube may preserve a life, but it will all come to an end. Another thing I would like to bring up is my opponent stated how doctors might be forced in felicitating physician-assisted suicide. However, those are the doctors who do not believe in it will not felicitate it, so there will not be a problem. And either way, in Oregon, the eligible person can take back his request at any time, and doctors and healthcare providers can take it back also. He also mentioned something about taking lives away from the innocent, but if this is your own decision, then you're the one taking away your own life. It's not a doctor injecting you. The doctor gives you pills and tells you that if you take so-and-so amount, you will die. But if you slowly take it, you'll gradually die. But the person that's taking it and self-administrating it is the person itself. But as I want to say, like, the main point that I want to get across is that the providers, the physicians, are not directly in contact with this action. And another thing I want to bring up is how he said suffering is a part of life. Yes, suffering is a part of life and has been always a part of human existence, and requests to end suffering by means of death through both physician-assisted suicide has occurred since the beginning of medicine. So they both have been relatively occurring. So yeah. And according to a little background, he also stated that suffering brings families together. But a lot of the people that choose physician-assisted suicide are in nursing homes. About 90% of them, according to Angela Mara, We have a great stride in improving the end-of-life care through palliative care and hospice programs, but sometimes it's just not enough. The care we offer our elderly and chronically ill in America is less than ideal. An estimated 40 to 70% patients die in pain, and 50 to 60% die in feeling short breath, and 90 of them are in nursing homes, where patients go to receive 24-hour nursing care are gravely understaffed. So as you mentioned about family, usually these people are in nursing homes and they are in pain, and that's why they go for these services. And according to both physicians and family members from the Death with Dignity National Center, patients request assistance with suicide for several reasons, including loss of autonomy, loss of control of bodily functions, and inability to participate in activities that make life enjoyable, and a determination to control the manner of death. And yes, that's what I was about to say.